Welcome back to our Flutter AdMob Mastery course. In this lecture, we are going to create a utility class called AdHelper that will make managing AdMob ad unit IDs much easier throughout your app. When implementing ads in Flutter application, you will need different ad unit IDs for different platforms, different ad formats, different environments. Without proper organization, this can quickly become messy and error-prone. Without proper organization, this can quickly become messy and error-prone. Our AdHelper class will solve this problem by centralizing all ad unit IDs in one place and providing simple methods to access the right IDs at the right time. Let's get started by setting up this essential utility. First, let's create proper file structure for our utility class. First, let's create the proper file structure for your utility class. In your Flutter project, create folder named utils inside your lib directory. Utils. Inside the folder, create a new file called AdHelper.dart. Add_helper.dart. This organization follows Flutter best practices by separating utility classes from your main application code. As your app grows, you might add other helper classes to this util folder, such as date formatters, string utilities, or validation helpers. Now let's start building your AdHelper class. Open a new AdHelper.dart file. Let's add nursery imports and define your class structure. Here we are importing two essential packages, import Dart.io and package Flutter Foundation. Then create AdHelper class AdHelper. Here static bool use the stats debug mode. Here Dart.io gives the access to the platform class, which we tell Dart.io. This gives you access to the platform class, which we will use to determine if apps running on Android or iOS. The Flutter Foundation package, this provides debug mode constant, which is true when running in debug mode and false in release mode. The static use the stats property automatically determines whether to use the stats based on your app build mode. This is a crucial safety feature that helps prevent accidental use of test ads in production or real ads during development. Next, let's add the test ad unit IDs provided by Google. These special IDs always serve test ads instead of real ones. Go to this documentation. Here, test unit ID for iOS and test unit ID for Android. First, we have copy fixed size banner. Then go to our AdHelper class. Here, static const string Android banner test ID. First, go to test unit ID documentation for Android and iOS. First, copy the fixed size banner test unit ID and go to our AdHelper class. Here, static const string Android banner test ID. Paste here, and second one is iOS, static const string iOS banner test ID. Copy from iOS documentation and paste here. In the introduction section, we have discussed about AdMob banner. We have different type of banner unit IDs, adaptive banners and fixed size banner and collapsible banner ID. So we can add these test IDs in our AdHelper class. These test ad unit IDs are provided by Google and should be used during development to avoid policy violation. Using real ads during development can lead to invalid impressions and clicks, which could potentially result in account suspension. These test ad unit IDs are provided by Google and should be used. These test ad unit IDs are provided by Google and should be used during development to avoid policy violations. Using real ads during development can lead to invalid impressions and clicks, which could potentially result in account suspension. Now let's add placeholders for your production ad unit IDs. First, go to the AdMob dashboard. Select the Android app, click the Add Unit, click Add Unit. Here select banner and enter the Add Unit name as banner and click Create Add Unit and click Done. Copy this banner Add Unit ID and go to your AdHelper class. Here for production unit IDs, here enter static const string banner production ID, paste as we have copied. Then go to our iOS app. Here also click as similar, create add unit and select banner. Here also enter banner and click create add unit. Done. Copy this and static const iOS production banner ID and paste here. Here a few important notes. Keep your production add unit IDs secure and never share them publicly. Always create separate add unit IDs for Android and iOS. Name your add units in AdMob console to clearly indicate the platform and ad format. Consider creating different add units for different parts of your app for better analytics. Finally, let's add methods to retrieve the appropriate add unit ID based on your current platform and environment. Method to get the banner add unit ID, here static string get banner unit ID, get banner unit ID. Check if your platform is Android, return use test ads. In the production case, use test ads in Android banner test ID, else case Android banner production ID. Else if the platform is iOS, similarly return use test ads, case use iOS banner test ID, else case iOS production ID. In the other case, throw a unsupported platform. Throw supported error as unsupported platform. This abstraction is powerful because your ad implementation code doesn't need to worry about which ID to use. You can switch between test and production ad globally by changing one variable. This abstraction is powerful because your ad implementation code doesn't need to worry about which ID to use. You can switch between test and production ad globally by changing one variable. Your code is more readable since the logic for selecting the right ID is centralized. When you need to add new ad formats in future, just follow the same pattern to create new getter methods. Great job! You have now created a robust AdHelper utility class that will make managing your AdMob and unit IDs much easier. This utility class will serve as the foundation for all the ad implementation we will cover in the coming lectures. As we add more ad formats like interstitial, rewarded ads, and native ads, we will extend this helper with additional methods. In our next lecture, we will implement banner ads using AdHelper class. In our next lecture, we will implement banner ads using this AdHelper class. See you then.